Good evening. This is Akashvani. I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin discuss bilateral ties and regional and global issues over telephone. Futuristic policies of government in last few years led to global recognition of Indian universities, says Prime Minister Modi. Annual Amarnath Yatra to begin tomorrow from both Baltal and Pahalgam routes in Jammu and Kashmir. India to host SCO Summit on Tuesday in a virtual format. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif confirm participation. In squash, Indian pair of Dipika, Pallikal and Harinderpal Sandhu win Asian Mixed Doubles Championships in China, and in football, India to take on Lebanon in semifinal of SAFF Championships in Bengaluru tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin over telephone today. Both leaders reviewed progress in bilateral cooperation and exchanged views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. President Putin informed Prime Minister Modi about the recent developments in Russia. While discussing the situation in Ukraine, Mr. Modi reiterated his call for dialogue and diplomacy. Both leaders agreed to remain in touch and continue to make efforts to further strengthen the special and privileged strategic partnership between the two countries. Prime Minister Modi attended the valedictory ceremony of the centenary celebrations of Delhi University this morning. Speaking at the event, Mr. Modi asserted that Indian universities are gaining global recognition today due to futuristic policies and decisions in the education sector. He said there was a time when Delhi University had just 3 colleges. Now it has more than 90 colleges.
कोई इंसान हो या संस्थान, जब उसके संकल्प देश के लिए होते तो उसकी सफलता भी देश की सफलताओं से कदम मिलाकर चलती है। कभी डीयू में केवल 3 कॉलेज थे, आज 90 से ज्यादा कॉलेज है। कभी भारत की इकोनॉमी फ्रेजाइल के लिस्ट में थी, खस्ता हाल थी, आज भारत दुनिया की टॉप 5 इकोनॉमीज में शामिल हो चुका है।
Prime Minister Modi said a large number of universities and colleges are being established across the country.
आज देश भर में बड़ी संख्या में यूनिवर्सिटी कॉलेज बनाए जा रहे हैं। पिछले कुछ वर्षों में आईआईटी, आईआईएम, एनआईटी और एम्स जैसी संस्थाओं की संख्या में लगातार बढ़ोतरी हुई है। ये सभी इंस्टीट्यूट्स न्यू इंडिया के बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स बन रहे हैं। साथियों, शिक्षा सिर्फ सिखाने की प्रक्रिया नहीं है, बल्कि ये सीखने की भी प्रक्रिया है।
The Prime Minister also interacted with students at Delhi University. He travelled in the Delhi Metro to attend the event. Chemicals and Fertilizers Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has urged the state governments to promote the balanced use of chemical fertilizers and encourage organic farming for the preservation of soil health. The minister's remarks came during an interaction with agriculture ministers of all states and union territories through video conferencing in New Delhi today. At the meeting, Dr. Mandavia explained the benefits of PM Pranam scheme, which aims to incentivize states to promote alternative fertilizers like organic manure to save the earth from harmful effects of indiscriminate use of chemical fertilizers. The government has permitted all public sector banks and eligible private sector banks to implement and operationalize the Mahila Samman Savings Certificate 2023. Under the scheme, an account can be opened on or before the 31st of March 2025 for a tenure of 2 years. With this, the scheme will now be available for subscription in post offices and eligible scheduled banks. The deposit made under the scheme will bear interest at the rate of 7.5% per annum, which will be compounded quarterly. The Defence Ministry has signed a contract of 2,725 crore rupees with Mazgaon Dock Shipbuilders Limited for medium refit with life certification MRLC of submarine INS Shankush. Shankush is a subsurface killer class of submarine to be refitted at Mumbai. The ministry said the delivery of submarine post MRLC will be in 2026. After completion of MRLC, INS Ankush will be combat ready and will join the active fleet of the Indian Navy with upgraded combat capability. Union Home Minister Amit Shah today said the last 9 years of the central government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi have been dedicated to the welfare of the poor and India's pride. Mr. Shah was addressing a rally under the Amarnath Yatra organized in Udaipur on the occasion of completion of 9 years of the NDA government. He said the government has created new opportunities for development in every field.
ये सरकार गरीबों की, दलितों की, आदिवासियों की, पिछड़ों की सरकार है। ये 9 साल में देश के करोड़ों किसानों को पहली बार 6,000 रुपया प्रति साल मिला है और अब राजस्थान में 80 लाख किसानों को अब तक 16,000 करोड़ रुपया सीधा बैंक अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर करने का काम हमारे नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने किया है.
The annual Amarnath Yatra will begin tomorrow from both Baltal and Pahalgam routes in Jammu and Kashmir. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha flagged off the first batch of pilgrims from Bhagwati Nagar base camp in Jammu this morning. Talking to Akashvani News, Amarnath Shrine Board CEO Mandeep Kumar Bhandari said over 3 lakh pilgrims have already registered for the Yatra.
अभी तक तकरीबन 3,04,000 यात्रियों ने अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन विभिन्न माध्यमों से यहां करवा लिया है. श्री अमरनाथ जी की यात्रा के लिए 2 अलग-अलग रूट से वो अपनी यात्रा आरंभ कर सकते हैं. चाहे वो बालटाल एक्सेस है जो कि गांदरबल डिस्ट्रिक्ट में मौजूद है और दूसरा पहलगाम के जरिए जो कि अनंतनाग जिले से ये यात्रा आरंभ होती है. बालटाल के माध्यम से अगर यात्री ट्रेवल करते हैं तो उनको तकरीबन 14 किलोमीटर का ट्रैक जर्नी उनको करना है और अगर वो पहलगाम के रास्ते नुनवान बेस कैंप में रुकने के बाद चंदनवाड़ी से अपनी यात्रा आरंभ करते हैं तो 32 किलोमीटर का पैदल मार्ग उनको तय करना है.
Our correspondent has more details.
In Jammu, 33 accommodation centers and 5 Tatkal registration centers have been established for the pilgrims for the on-spot registration. The pilgrims shall be provided mandatory radio frequency identification tags at the registration centers. Transit camps have been established along the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway to accommodate the yatris in the event of inclement weather and closure of the highway. Around 24 langars have also been established at various points along the highway. Akashvani News, Nasir Rathar, Jammu.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission in Madhya Pradesh tomorrow. The mission aims to address the pressing health challenges posed by sickle cell disease, particularly among the tribal population. He will also distribute sickle cell genetic status cards to the beneficiaries. The disease affects hemoglobin in red blood cells, which can result in morbidity and mortality through distinct pathways. The Prime Minister will also kickstart the distribution of about 3.57 crore Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana cards in Madhya Pradesh. Mr. Modi will also inaugurate the 17th Indian Cooperative Congress in New Delhi tomorrow. The National Cooperative Union of India is organizing the 2-day event with the theme of Amritkal Prosperity Through Cooperation for a Vibrant India. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. India will host the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO Summit on Tuesday in a virtual format. The 23rd summit of the SCO Council of Heads of State will be chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. According to the External Affairs Ministry, all the SCO member states, China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan have been invited to attend the summit. Iran, Belarus and Mongolia have been invited as observer states. As per SCO tradition, Turkmenistan has also been invited as the guest of the chair. Meanwhile, China and Pakistan have confirmed their participation in the meeting. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying said President Xi will attend the SCO meeting on the 4th of July through video conference in Beijing and deliver important remarks. Pakistan's Foreign Ministry said Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif will represent the country at the meeting. India assumed the rotating chairmanship of SCO at the Samarkand summit on the 16th of September last year. French President Emmanuel Macron today held an emergency meeting amid violent unrest in the country over fatal shooting of a 17-year-old boy of North African descent by police near Paris during a traffic check. After the meeting, in a short statement, Ms. Macron denounced the unacceptable exploitation of the adolescent's death. President Macron outlined a series of measures to try to quell the recent violence, including more police deployment on the streets. Mr. Macron also asked parents to keep their children away from the riots, noting that some of those participating were very young. Meanwhile, France's Ministry of Interior said 875 people have been taken into custody till now. It said around 1,900 automobiles have been burned, with fires being ignited at 500 public buildings such as police stations. 249 officers were injured after the third night of unrest. The United Nations has called on France to tackle racism in its security forces. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, today announced that it has reached a staff-level agreement with Pakistan on a $3 billion standby arrangement. According to media reports, the deal is subject to approval by the IMF board in July. It comes after an 8-month delay and aims to address Pakistan's acute balance of payments crisis and dwindling foreign exchange reserves. The Indian Computer Emergency Response Team has released guidelines on information security practices for government entities for safe and trusted Internet. The guidelines include various security domains such as network security, identity and access management, data security and third-party outsourcing. It will help government entities and industry to reduce cyber risk, protect citizen data and continue to improve the cybersecurity ecosystem in the country. Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology Rajiv Chandrasekhar said the government has taken several initiatives to ensure an open, safe, trusted and accountable digital space. In squash, India's Dipika, Pallikal and Harinderpal Sandhu won the gold medal at the Asian Mixed Doubles Tournament at Hangzhou, China today. Seeded third, Dipika and Harinder defeated second-seed Malaysian combination of Ivan Yuan and Rachel Arnold by 2-0. The other Indian duo, Amarnath Singh and Abhay Singh, won the bronze medal, also beating the top seeds today. The mixed doubles event was held as a trial event for the 19th Asian Games to be held at Hangzhou in September this year. In football, India will face Lebanon in the semifinal of SAFF Championship at Sri Kantirava Stadium in Bengaluru tomorrow. While the Indian football team is trying its best to make it back-to-back SAFF Cup wins, Lebanon is also working hard to make their first-ever final in the history of the competition. Both teams have managed to remain undefeated in their campaign for subcontinental glory. The Indian Meteorological Department IMD has predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall over sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim, Bihar, Assam, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh during the next 5 days. Talking to Akashvani News, senior IMD scientist R.K. Jenamani said conditions are favourable for further advance of southwest monsoon into remaining parts of the country during the next 2 days.
Most parts of India has been covered by the monsoon except a smaller area over northwest Rajasthan, South Punjab and South Haryana. And forecast for July is that the monthly rainfall over the country as a whole during July 2023 is most likely to be normal. Spatial distribution, if we take area-wise, then it is likely to be normal to abnormal. So it's most likely over most areas of central India and adjoining South Peninsula and East India and some areas of northwest and also northeast India. And below normal is likely over many areas of northwest, northeast and southeast peninsular India in July.
Meanwhile, Home Minister Amit Shah today approved the release of over 6,194 crore rupees to 19 state governments under the State Disaster Response Fund. The funds will help the states to undertake relief measures during the current monsoon season. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin discussed bilateral ties and regional and global issues over telephone. Futuristic policies of government in the last few years led to global recognition of Indian universities, says Prime Minister Modi. Annual Amarnath Yatra to begin tomorrow from both Baltal and Pahalgam routes in Jammu and Kashmir. India to host SCO Summit on Tuesday in virtual format. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif confirm participation. In squash, Indian pair of Dipika, Pallikal and Harinderpal Singh, Sandhu win Asian Mixed Doubles Championships in China. And in football, India to take on Lebanon in semifinal of SAFF Championships in Bengaluru tomorrow. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.